Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We are the Men of Main Street. I'm Nick, that's Jeremy. Today we're going to be talking about some new Roosevelt's drops, resort luggage offerings, a whole bunch of stuff with a Disney Destiny, Star Wars, Easter treats, and a whole lot more. So stay tuned, guys. All right, guys. So, Jeremy, lead us in. What are we going to be talking about first?
All right, we're going to jump right into Roosevelt. So we have a little bit of clarification. Last week, I told you about some new drops. They did a collab with Disney Parks, and they released. We said 2. We were wrong. They're 4 new shirts. Just 2 we thought looked familiar. They were totally different. So you have, you had the Mickey Mouse one with the lands. You had that we thought we knew was new. The Tiki Room that we knew was new. The Star Wars and the Haunted Mansion ones are both also new and exclusive to the parks. So
yes, yeah, totally new, right? Like we've never seen anything like this. We've seen shirts similar to this for Star Wars, obviously, Haunted Mansion, but you're telling me this is totally new, right?
Yeah, totally new designs. So that's very exciting. You can actually find these designs. They're pretty easy to find, considering that based on what we've seen on social media, we've seen them at World of Disney, the Polynesian and Contemporary Resorts, Magic Kingdom, and at Hollywood Studios.
Awesome, right on. Well,
so I got a question for you. Do you think this is all that we are getting, or do you think there could be more down the pipeline?
Well, I'll just say that I wasn't necessarily expecting it to just be a collab that they were going to have with the parks. I think a lot of us got our hopes up that we're going to have a store. Roosevelt's, as you guys probably can figure out after a while, they're very secretive about a lot of things that they do, and for good reason. I mean, they throw out some pretty amazing shirts and collections, and we'll talk about this one in a second. A new collection just dropped today, and fun hint, has something to go do with this, so no spoilers quite yet. But that being said, I think we were thinking we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that. I think this is just the beginning. If we're seeing shirts in the parks, it's only going to get more and more interesting. We have a lot of collabs already with different things, so to see those exclusive ones, it's really going to be just that much harder to find, and I think it's going to be a great new line for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, I heard there was another drop today. Tell us about that.
Yes. So, as far as that, it was a new Lilo and Stitch drop. So, in honor of the new movie that'll be coming out very shortly, I think it comes out sometime in May, I believe. For the new live-action Lilo and Stitch, they came out with, I think it's 5 new shirts. So stay tuned. We'll have those, one of the next episodes coming up soon. I know I already picked up 3 today. I feel like those were probably the 3 more popular ones, but again, we'll see more of those kind of as we come up. And Jerry, if you wouldn't mind, we can bring those up right now.
Yeah,
show everyone what we're talking about. Absolutely. And while he's doing that, we'll just point out that they already did have a Lilo and Stitch collection prior to this, and that's the one that I'm wearing today. But yeah, the ones that Jeremy just pulled up, we got a couple new ones. We got some new polos, we got some new hats, some new button downs. Those are usually my favorites, and it's just a whole new collection out of this. So those weren't even all of them right there. Those are just some of the designs, and yeah, we get a whole lot more in store to show you guys as things go on here. So, but yeah, as far as the one I'm wearing today, we have, and again, butchering this, but it's called Hey Melee No Lilo. So this is a one of their sweatshirts. I gotta say, Jared, I was not expecting this to be as comfortable as it is. I know guys like Paige and Mr. Morrow bring it up all the time, just how comfortable they are. I did not know just how stretchy and movable this material is. It's basically, if you were to combine the regular button downs and make them about 3 times stretchier than the way they are, they feel great. They don't feel like you don't feel like you're wearing necessarily any kind of like outerwear per se. It feels as comfortable as just a nice t-shirt. And that's an awesome thing to have, especially when you're at the park, something like that, something that's breathable, something that's movable, all great things to have. So it's a couple of hidden things in here. It's a little hard to see with the camera, but we do have a couple things. We got like Stitch on here. See if we can't get it in the camera. We got Stitch on here. We got Lilo on here. We got some different leaves to match Lilo's dress. And I actually have the regular button-down shirt for this one as well to match that. So I kind of got a whole collection going. But I saved that more for my cruise collection. I don't like to bring that quite out yet. So anyways, yeah. But so, Jared, what do we have coming up next? What are we talking about?
I just want to briefly touch on the luggage check-in service that's coming to the Disney resorts. I say coming, but it's already here. So, started back on the 3rd of April. They started a pilot program where you can drop off your checked baggage at your resort, and they'll bring it directly to your flight. So this is something they used to offer back when. What was it? The bus service was around. Oh my gosh, the Magical Express was around. So it's something that they're bringing back as a service. There's certain times you need to drop off your bags if you want to take advantage of this. So if you're flying early in the morning, then you should be dropping your bags off the night before. All the details are in their website. Typically, you want to give them at least 4 hours. Drop your bags off at least 4 hours before departure and no later than 1 p.m. So whatever comes first. I will say that this is available at select Disney resort hotels such as the All-Star resorts, as well as Art of Animation and Pop Century. So it's something they used to have, something they're bringing back, and I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of travelers.
Well, and the biggest thing I think behind all this is that we've said it plenty of times before. Disney listens. They listen to what their guests want. They listen to what the people want out of this. We've seen it plenty of times, different shows and different things like that. So I think it's a great to see them, start going back towards that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, they're just trying to add to the list of perks they have. They have the extra
Absolutely.
magic hours, and now this again. I remember we used it once when we stayed at the Riviera Resort, and I thought it was really helpful. So, I mean, just one less thing you got to worry about. That's one less line you have to worry about at MCO, and the lines at MCO can be extremely unpredictable and long. So, just knowing you only have to stand in one instead of 2 lines is a huge advantage when you're traveling out.
And pro tip, we won't touch on this too long here at all, but MCO Reserve. I can't say that enough. If you're traveling on MCO, it's a free service. You go online. It's done by Clear. You go online. It's not any kind of pre-check. You just go online. You set an appointment time. You put what airline you're going to go through. You just walk right through. I mean, it's nice and simple. So, pro tip if you're not wanting to wait in those insane lines going up here. So,
absolutely. And I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
The one thing I forgot to mention that's really important is that this is only offered for Southwest Airlines currently. So it's still in the pilot program. I mean, Southwest is one of the largest airlines that come out of MCO. So probably more than, I know a lot of people take that in. So, just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Awesome. Well, that brings us to our next topic. Now, this is probably some of the biggest news that we got this past week. We're talking all about the Disney Destiny. So that is the latest cruise ship that is getting ready to set sail. And this one is all hero and villains themed. So the entire ship is going to be themed like that. Yeah, there's a picture of it right there. It's what we're going to be looking at for our main lobby. I can tell you, as someone that has been on a Disney cruise, it is grand. I mean, it is one heck of an entrance when you walk in there on the ship. When you walk in, you're greeted by all this. It's nice that Disney's bringing in kind of a stage area that we see here now when you come in, as opposed to just kind of a staircase and stuff like that. It really brings in that element of entertainment that Disney's, obviously so well known for. So with that, when we first walk in, we're going to end up seeing a statue of the Black Panther that is going to be the icon or the symbol statue that is going to be in the lobby there. Every ship has one. Some of them are minis, some are Mickey. It all depends. It depends on the ship. But you're also in that great hall is going to be a spot where we're going to be seeing Loki quite a bit. Loki is supposedly one of the big parts to the main lobby when you come in there. They mentioned a little bit that he's going to be a little bit more interactive. I can tell you that on Disney cruises, it's not the same feel that you would get in a Disney park per se, where it's, hi bye, hello, we got to kind of keep everything moving here. With this, it's more of, I have time to go ahead and kind of walk around with you. I really want to play with you and show, talk about the character, and they enjoy doing it. I mean, it's what they're there for. So we could be seeing some nice interactive things, which would be really awesome to go do there. So it could be part of a side quest thing. We don't really know if there's one of those on a lot of the Disney cruise ships. There are some side quests that take you all throughout the ship. I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything like that with him. I just know that we did hear a little bit that there might be some more interactive options that would be happening with him. So keep going on with that here. We have in the grand hallway or grand lobby, when you walk in, the chandelier is going to be inspired by vibranium. Now, every ship is different. We have on the Wish, if you wait till midnight, it goes ahead and it does this whole kind of light show in the ceiling and plays When You Wish Upon a Star, I believe. Fun fact, the Fantasy does not. I've been there waiting for it and thinking something was going to happen. I thought every ship did. No, it does not. So I've been there plenty of times, just sitting there with my father-in-law, just looking up, saying, when is this going to happen? When are we going to see something? And they were just kind of staring at us like, what are you guys doing down here? Like we know it's a pretty ship and all, but what are you doing? So it was a lot of fun. But either which way here, some of the big news too are stern characters. So the character we're going to go see on the back of the ship is going to be Spider-Man with a spider bot. They showed us a little bit of artwork on that recently, and it looks pretty cool. It's awesome that we have a dedicated heroes and villains themed ship, which brings me to my next point. We have a whole new kind of character or new outfit and style to see someone from the Fab Five. Jared, do you know who that could be?
I'm gonna guess potentially Minnie Mouse.
You're right. Yeah, we're gonna have superhero Minnie. So, whole new outfit for her, whole new theme. We've never seen her in any kind of outfit like this. It's awesome to see. She is going to be the emblem on the bow of the ship. Every ship has like a painted on emblem for it. It looks beautiful, and it always has something different on it. Some have Mickey. And I forget what the other ones are. I think one of them might even have Dumbo on them. I know the back of the ship in the Fantasy had Dumbo, but either which way, Minnie's going to be at the very front of the ship. You're going to be able to go meet her, take photos with her, and that'll kind of bring it into some of the other topics we're going to talk about here in just a second. So, Jared, so we talked a little bit about the lobby. We talked about what the main theme is. What else do we have to talk about for this ship?
Yeah, we got some interesting stuff going on with the staterooms. So the staterooms are going to have different themes. You're going to be able to. Some of the staterooms are going to be themed to different IPs. So you got Big Hero 6, you got Hercules, Fantasia with Sorcerer Mickey, my favorite, Brave, and The Incredibles. So I don't know how often this has been done on other ships. Like I'm trying to think back. Like where you were on the Dream, you said, or the Fantasy?
Fantasy.
Right. So on that ship, did they have themed rooms like that, or is it mostly standard?
I believe in that ship it was mostly standard. I think it wasn't until we got into the Wish class that we started to see just more theming. And again, it kind of makes it that much more immersive. We when you go to pick out a room on a ship, it's a hard decision. I mean, you got a lot of spots to go. You go forward, mid, aft. You got to pick the floor you're on and kind of what your priorities are. When I was on the aft side, and I believe I was on deck 8, which was a fun little spot because You're close to cabanas for all your dining, and you're close to all the nightlife as well by the lounges. So we'll talk more about all that fun stuff in just a second. So, Jared, what was some other things that were announced? So we talked about entertainment. What else do we have? What shows we got playing on this ship?
Well, bless my soul, we got a new stage show. We got a brand new Hercules show coming, which is really exciting. Um, I've been told, based on what I've seen, the puppetry in this show is going to be outstanding. Apparently, so the Moana show that recently came out on the Disney Treasure is incredible, and they heard that this is even next level. So, I mean, you can just tell by this concept art here. You got the dragons, and I mean, it looks incredible. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
it does.
I,
Additionally, on this
I would
ship,
tell you that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, additionally on the ship, you'll also get a Frozen show, as well as Frozen. Love is an open door, of course, and Disney Sees the Adventure, another show that they've put on other Disney ships. So
Absolutely. And I can tell you, too, with the Broadway shows, they don't disappoint. I thought, honestly, going to a show after dinner, I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of lame. I can go do whatever. No, you need to go to the shows. They are incredible. It's a huge part of being on the cruise ships. And
yeah,
I'd absolutely recommend going to them if you can.
I would say when you're talking about Disney Cruise, the shows is one of the parts they absolutely shine. Like they have these incredible Broadway shows that you have to go to New York and pay hundreds of dollars to go see. Now you're telling me now it can be included with your Disney cruise, for the same price,
Yes.
and you can see multiple shows. I mean, I saw Frozen on Broadway last year when they were touring, and it was unbelievable. And I'm sure that on the ship it's the same quality, if not better, since it's their own stage and they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? So Hercules,
Absolutely.
I know Hercules is also coming to Broadway. So having it on the ship too is a big draw for them. And I'm sure whatever you're going to see on the ship is probably just as good, if not better, than what you're going to see on Broadway. So I mean, it kind of justifies your price of a Disney cruise because it's a little bit more expensive. Um, but I think it's worth it just for the shows alone.
Absolutely. And I would say, too, that for anyone that might have any questions about booking a Disney cruise and they're seeing that price for the first time, I can tell you I had sticker shock myself this past year before I went on it. And I was like, wow, I could go on, 2 to 3 Royal Caribbean cruises with my family for the same price that I would pay to go on a Disney one. I can tell you for the level of service and the, just the amount of entertainment and hospitality and everything that you get out of it, you're not going to find that anywhere else. Everyone does say that, if you go on a Disney cruise, you're kind of ruined at that point because there's no going back. There really isn't. And I can tell you that I would always pick a Disney cruise any day over doing one of the others. I'd rather skip a year or two, save up, and go to one of these than go to a different one. So the islands were pristine and amazing. The cast and crew gets out to actually work on the island as they don't really have a staff there during the day. So they'll come out and they'll work with you. So it's fun to see, all your same bartenders, all your same waiters and wait staff out there on the islands helping out and doing stuff. It's a great time. And we say it all the time. The cast members are what make the magic, and it is without any exception. At a Disney cruise, they work tirelessly day in and day out, and it's very, very well appreciated. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to some lounges, Nick. Tell me about what's coming to the
Yes.
Disney Destiny when it comes to lounges and bars.
All right, so I will be the first to say the lounges on a Disney cruise ship are some of my favorite spots to hang out. On the Fantasy, we had an area called Europa, which had a couple different lounges over there. It's all on this one deck, all in the same area, all different themes. Their bars are themed, their lounges, I shouldn't say bars. Their lounges are just themed so well. And this ship is without any exception to that. We have the Sanctum, so we have Doctor Strange's lounge. So this looks just like I would imagine, Doctor Strange's Sanctum in New York City to look like if it was a restaurant or a bar. So I would certainly be excited to go there. That's definitely somewhere I would like to go for one. Then we also kind of move into the, again, villains theme, and we're going to talk about DeVille's Piano Lounge. So this is where they're going to be doing some, I believe, small kind of shows. Now, to me, this seems like the bar you're going to see, or sorry, lounge that you're going to be seeing more of the shows in. I can tell you that while I was on the fantasy, they had, let's see, we had the tube, which would have been the area that you probably would have, I'd compare most to this, where it's a larger seating area. It had more of a multi-purpose use to this, the actual scene. Then there was Skyline, La Piazza. There was a champagne one, and then O'Gill's Pub. Ooh La La was the other one. All right, guys. Sorry, some technical difficulties there. That was interesting. All right, yeah. So we have all the different lounges that were on the fantasy, and again, comparing this to the tube. The tube was probably the most similar to all this, and it's going to kind of give an area for a piano, area to probably do a little bit of dancing and that sort of thing. So. And again, the entertainment is just top tier. You feel in a much higher class kind of area than I would have ever imagined myself ever being in some of these lounges, and I deeply loved it. So I would love to sit and hear it, late in the evening, listening to the piano and that sort of thing. So then we get into some more of our fun lounges. Then we have the Cask and Cannon. So this one is another first for Disney Cruise Line. This is a pirate themed lounge. So as you guys can imagine, it's going to be probably some references in there, maybe to Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, you're probably going to be pirates in the Caribbean. That's what they like to go ahead and say about their fireworks show and all that. So it'll probably be having some themes and some relics maybe from the series and all that, which would be awesome. Again, theming in here looks top tier. I'm excited to see a little bit more. This image gives us some info. Doesn't really give us, a whole lot of what else they might be doing here besides mainly just a seating area and just an area to kind of hang out. So I'd be curious to see what they're planning on bringing in here. And then with with such a popular demand, they ended up bringing one that was new on the Treasure, the Haunted Mansion Parlor. They brought that one into the Destiny going forward as well. So, Jared, if you want to go ahead and flip her on over.
I don't have that one because that one is not a new one.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. That one though, sorry guys, it's been a long day today. As far as the as that one goes, the Haunted Mansion, it's just like it sounds. It's a Haunted Mansion themed parlor in there. Every time certain drinks get ordered, it's similar to like Trader Sam's, where different things will happen, different effects go on. Hatbox Ghost is everywhere in there. There's special drinks. There's even special sodas in there. It was such a popular addition to the Treasure that they decided to go ahead and bring it into the Destiny as well, which I'm really excited to see. Again, just continue with that. And bringing, again, what is just favorites of, of the guests is just something that Disney's just so great at doing. So, Jared, what would your favorite Disney lounge be? Or what do you wish a lounge would be themed after?
Yeah, so, first off, I'm really excited. These lounges look really great. Based on the concept art of this Cask and Cannon one, this one looks kind of like if they have a sports bar, if you want to watch a game, this is where you do it, based on the amount of TVs that are in here. But if I was to have a Disney lounge, they already did a hyperspace lounge on the Disney Wish, which is something that I probably would enjoy a lot because I'm a huge Star Wars guy. However, I think there's some room for improvement on Hyperspace Lounge. It was cool when it came out, but then when you compare it to like the immersion that the Haunted Mansion Parlor has, or even just like looking at Oga's Cantina and Galaxy's Edge, I think there's a little bit left to desire there. So I think they could do that a little bit better. Other than that, why, I think there's a lot of opportunities, a ton of great attractions to choose from, but I would say, maybe a spruce up the Star Wars one first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think they definitely could use to go ahead and do that for sure. So, Jer, as far as dining on this ship, so we talked about our lounge, we talked about our staterooms and shows, talked about the theme. What are we talking for dining? Is it all heroes and villains? Are we getting all new? What are we getting?
All right, so we're getting so that based on how the Disney Wish and the Treasure we have kind of like there's one restaurant that's going to have like a signature show in the main dining room. They've done Encanto before, they've done Frozen. Now they're doing The Lion King. So your favorite one of the best Broadway shows still on Broadway, The Lion King is coming to your uh, dining room on the Disney Destiny, which is really awesome. They have specialty drinks like "Can you feel the rum tonight?" I mean, how fun is that?
I
Um,
mean, doesn't get much better than that.
it doesn't. You also have the Worlds of Marvel on this ship, which is also on some of their other ships, as well as 1923, which is a uh, like a vintage Disney, kind of like Roaring Twenties, but like kind of like a time capsule of Disney and its history and different pieces, artifacts, and pieces of art you'll find within there, and sketches and stuff. Um, the one thing I'll mention about um, the Disney restaurants is Disney Cruise has a patented, I think it's like a patented license where they rotate the dining rooms, which Nick you've experienced. So each night you don't eat
Yes.
at the same place. I'm pretty sure that's patented and no other cruise ship can do that. And your server will follow you from restaurant to restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know so much about the patent, but I can definitely speak to the fact that it is they do rotate. Your wait staff will stay with you the duration of the cruise, which is an amazing thing. We've talked a little bit about it. My daughter has celiac disease, so for us, it's. I also have a coconut allergy. My wife has a chocolate allergy, so it makes things really nice to know that our wait staff knows us ahead of time. They also are your point of contact too when it comes to any special dietary needs you might need on the islands as well. If you let them know that, hey, I'd like to have XYZ, they'll make it happen. Disney is magical in every sense like that, and they're always willing to accommodate the best they can. And yeah, you rotate from different dining rooms. So it depends how many days that you're going to be there. If it's just a 3 night cruise, you will go rotate to all 3 rooms. I went on a 5 night, so I went to one of the dining rooms, I believe, twice. And you also have the option too. There is, I believe, always one sit-down restaurant you can go to, and I believe on the Destiny here, it's actually going to be probably 1923. Is probably going to be the restaurant of choice that they end up going for like a sit-down breakfast. That's usually what they kind of do, is kind of a more low-key restaurant that doesn't require. I can't imagine it would be Worlds of Marvel where they would do any kind of show there, or the feast or was it feast or
Feast
fest of
it's
the
a
Lion
feast of the Lion King.
Feast of the Lion King. Gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, with that one, I can't imagine they do that as well, because again, why would you just have a big open stage where no one's performing, where it's good morning, here's your scrambled eggs.
Right.
So I think that would probably be the restaurant of choice for that. And again, that one though, you do not bring your server with, because it's up to you whether you choose to go there or whether you choose to go upstairs to um, the buffet style.
Oh,
And again,
okay.
buffet style is always, again, fantastic. If you have any dietary restrictions with that one, um, again, your server can place that the night before. They'll have usually a ticket for you down there, or you just ask them at the podium.
Oh,
My daughter walked right up. She said, "Hey, I want some gluten-free waffles. Can you make that happen?" And they said, "Give me 5 minutes." Next thing you know, I had someone walking on out saying, "Here you go." I had a whole plate full of Mickey waffles.
no, that's
It,
awesome.
they are more than willing to accommodate. And one thing I can say too is as far as dining goes, they have a special crew of chefs that are on staff 24 hours a day to handle special dietary things like that, which is just fantastic. So it's not going through the masses like all the other food is. And don't get me wrong, that food has nothing at all wrong with that whatsoever. It's amazing, fine chefs doing that all as well. This is just a dedicated group to go ahead and oversee certain orders to make sure that nothing gets cross-contaminated, nothing else like that would happen. And I've even had stuff with me, and again, coconut's not in everything, but I've had some dishes even so much so that my, waiter comes over to me, places like an ice cream sundae in front of me and says, "Oh, well, sorry, the shortcake had coconut on it, so you just got extra ice cream." It's so again, they didn't necessarily ask, but they roll with it, and it makes things that much, that much more fun, and they get to know you. You get to have a lot of fun with them. Our wait staff, shout out, we had Tomislav and Zorro on ours, and they were fantastic. I could not have asked for a better group. And then our housekeeper, Alyssa, again, they made that trip just, top tier. I'll be going, they have a customer sold for life. They had them at the parks. Now you got me doing all that.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we also have a new kind of like a snacks, like a dessert area. I don't know what to call this. Like a little walk-up dessert bakery that's called Edna a la Mode Sweets. So a lot of fun treats you can get there with your family, and the theming's spot on. Looks really like a lot of fun in there.
So, and I'll mention real quick too that when it comes to this, every ship has kind of a cake shop sweet area that is not necessarily included in the pricing of all your food and all that. This, I believe, is what that's going to be. We've seen ones with Vanellope von Schweetz. I'm trying to think, what's the other one that we had? We had one that was just like a Mickey and Minnie themed like ice cream shop. We've had a couple, and they all usually have kind of the same deal. It's something themed to whatever it is. They'll have gelatos there, cupcakes, cookies, whatever else, and it's a great time. The pastries there are just as good, if not better, than what I would even get at the parks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't been on a Disney cruise in a very long time, but
See, we got to change that.
I know we definitely have to change that, and they are making it extremely compelling to go on one based on all these new things they're bringing, and the amount of theming that they're adding to these cruise ships is incredible.
Absolutely.
Nick, why don't you take us into some of the exclusive merch that they have on this ship?
Yes. So, as far as merch goes, I am kind of, I don't want to say shocked. I'm going to say shooketh with the amount of merch that they just dropped with this. We have, our normal Spirit jerseys. You have lounge flies, but we also have some more exclusive hero mini type things here. So we have plushes, we have pins, we have hats. It looks like T-shirts. What else do we have in here, Jared? Do we see anything else in that original picture? It looks like some tumblers.
Lounge flies.
Yeah, lounge fly. We got ears. We have, what else is that? Looks like some more shirts.
T-shirts and
Spider-Man T-shirts. And again, this is only just a preview that we saw from Disney Cruise blog, I believe, or Disney Parks blog. Where do we find this, Jared?
All this was found on the Disney Parks blog, but they had a special event just for this cruise, a media preview just for this this reveal of all the cruise information.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we have quite a bit of merch, so I'm sure there's gonna be more to come. They never disappoint on a Disney cruise. I was impressed to see how much they had when I went. It wasn't a lot, but I felt it was just enough. Because I don't know about you, but I kind of was running out of space by the time I was done on my cruise. Between everything that I had gotten and collected and brought on with me, my suitcase was full. So I'm definitely okay with this amount. I can only imagine what else they're going to have, but this is just a lot more than we've seen previously with a lot of the other ships. So I'm happy to see all that.
Yeah, interesting thing I remember from watching certain vlogs and from my experience on cruise ships is the shops. You seem to be cognizant that they are closed during port days.
Yes, absolutely, and that's mainly because the staff that be working there are now working on the island. So that same face that you might see at one spot, he might have a magical twin that works on the island. It happened to me. and it was pretty crazy. In fact, his twin brother's thumb squeaked quite a bit. I don't really know why, but he had a pretty squeaky thumb. He kept going ahead and just every time he would touch something on my daughter, it would just start squeaking. We couldn't figure out why, man. It was pretty crazy.
That's really
Don't know why.
interesting.
Yes, but again, hey, magic, Disney magic, it happens, and it keeps things interesting.
Anyways, Nick, do you know what this weekend is?
Easter?
Yes, but it's also one of my favorite events of the year. We're talking about Star Wars Celebration.
Hey-o!
I am so excited about Star Wars Celebration. This year, it's in Japan. It starts tomorrow. It actually starts like probably right now because we're recording on Thursday. It's happening on Friday, but it's in Japan because of the time difference. So they're probably already getting ready. And I'm expecting a lot out of this weekend. If you don't know what Star Wars Celebration is, I want to imagine a Comic-Con, but only Star Wars. And you're talking about the biggest Star Wars fans in the world, and they'll travel all over the world just to come to this one event. I always commend the Star Wars YouTube page. Their production crew covers this event extremely, extremely well. They have live streams of the panels that are going for hours on end. So you kind of don't miss out even if you can't get there, especially when it's in Japan. That's definitely difficult. Although I don't know who's going to be staying up all night to watch, but it still is exciting. I'm very excited because I think we're going to get a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer probably tonight. You're probably going to wake up. It's like Christmas morning. You're going to have that trailer waiting for you to watch. At least it might be a teaser.
I am more than okay with that. I actually was just thinking about The Mandalorian today and just how much I missed it. I heard the theme song come across my one of my songs on my my album here on Spotify earlier today, and it popped up, and I was like, man, I really missed that. What are we going to be getting then? I know it's coming up soon. I know. I think even don't we have another series coming up too? I think is it Andor?
That's right.
Coming up?
Andor Season 2. It starts on the 22nd, so next week. Very excited about that as well.
Absolutely. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And as far as what else is going to happen in this event, I'm thinking we're going to get more information on the next trilogy that's going to be created. That's going to involve Rey again. So Daisy Ridley's coming back to the fold. So I'm hoping we get a little bit of details on that because we really don't know have much.
Well, Jared, I mean, she was able to bypass the compressor. So, that being said, I think she deserves her own trilogy. We've been trying to go do that for how many years?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a simple fix, and no one knew it until she came along.
Absolutely.
They have some panels that are happening that I also think we might get some information out of. We got a panel that's called Living Your Star Wars Story in the theme parks, and also a panel called Disney Experiences, Building the Galaxy with Walt Disney Imagineering. So perhaps we get some new experiences to the park. I would think most likely maybe some enhancements to Galaxy's Edge. We saw in Disneyland, they obviously do so much more with that compared to us. I'm thinking about the droids that they brought out. Those looked like a lot of fun and were really cool. And also the characters, they have, as we talked about the other week, they have Luke Skywalker. And when they were doing the series with the Ahsoka series, all those characters also appeared in Disneyland as well. So I hope.
Jeez, man, Disneyland just gets everything. They need to ramp up that game.
I know, especially I don't get it. I understand it to a degree because it's all about crowd control. Like Disneyland, it's a lot easier to crowd control than Disney World. Because like if you think about how massive the park is, everyone's going to be rushing to that one area for this one person. It's difficult. I think though. The Mandalorian was a big step for them because of his popularity and how they were able to really control that in that space and, not totally like make it totally clear when he's coming. So you'd be a little bit surprised, but if you know he's coming. So I thought that was a good execution on their part. I was lucky enough to see him the past like 2 trips I was there, and I got a picture with him both times. So it's really an experience. So I'm hoping we get some more of that, maybe some more things that'll enhance how you tell your Star Wars story. Like last year or the year before, we got the Bounty Hunters Guild with your magic band.
Yes.
So maybe
I
we'll
am
get something
proud to
else like
say,
that.
I'm proud to say I've done every quest.
Hey, that's good for you, man. That's a lot of work.
While I was waiting for you to come down for your bachelor trip there, I just I took like 3 hours of my day and just went through, and I was like four of us just kind of all like circling each other, and
Wow.
it was kind of crazy to see all the doors and everything like that, and Galaxy's Edge like move a little bit and do some fun effects, but it was in my opinion, it was a little bit limited. It's cool if you only do one or two, I think, at a time because it kind of keeps that intrigue going. But after like I think like the sixth one, I just started repeating going to the same doors over time because there's only so many spots that they can go ahead and do this on. So
Wow.
it kept it interesting though. But yeah, I kind of leveled up a little bit. I walked by with my daughter last time I was there, and I hit my magic band. And I was like, "See, your dad's kind of a legend over here. Look at all the credits he has."
That's cool. He's in the guild. You're in the guild, man. That's pretty nuts.
I
That's
am
pretty cool.
in the guild, so
wow.
Proud to say that. Absolutely.
The one thing that I'm really hoping for, if you look around, if you go to Galaxy's Edge, look around, and you'll notice that there's so much staging that is unutilized. And when they first opened the Galaxy's Edge and they brought in a media preview, they did a live action show, like on the rooftops, on all these different scenes where Rey was battling Kylo Ren. And I always was really disappointed that we never got anything like that, like a normal operation. And I think it's be such a cool thing to have there. So I'm hoping maybe we'll get an announcement like that. I mean, that's really reaching, I think, but I would really love that.
Yeah, no, and they did a fantastic job with that, and really designing it. I think they left a lot of room for improvement and a lot of room for expansion if they want to. Not necessarily in size, but in terms of shows, what they can do and where it can happen. Even so far as I think when we started having some of the droids come out, we had I don't know if you happen to know off the top of your head, there was that one character that kept going out with some of the droids. I think she had blue hair or something like that.
Well, Vi Maraudy, has blue hair. She's a unique character to Galaxy's Edge. She plays a rebel who lives on the base. It's actually there's a really good audiobook or just book that you can read that gives you the backstory of Galaxy's Edge. Highly recommend the audiobook though, because they do a lot of really cool sound effects and voiceovers, and I listened to it on my commute to work for like a couple of years ago, and I don't do audiobooks, and I really like that one. But Galaxy's Edge, there's so much to it. I remember when they first pitched it, they were advertising, how you would fly the Millennium Falcon would impact the way that the cast members talk to you after you get off the ride. So maybe they're going to bring some of that back into the fold as well. So anyways, enough of Star Wars stuff. Let's move on to what else is happening this weekend, which is Easter.
Yes. Before that, though, something to mention. You mentioned books. You had me thinking. So my wife knows how crazy I am. She got me this. Therapy at the theme parks. So, yes, it's actually an actual book written by a therapist that tells you that a Walt Disney World trip can actually be just as powerful as going to therapy. So if anyone tells you differently, they're wrong. See, there's a book on it.
Wow.
Anyways, yes, Easter. We have a lot coming up. We have a lot to talk about on this. Hey, before we get too far, though, we have our exciting spot or things to talk about. First, we have eggs, and not just any eggs. We have Disney eggs. So we got Minnie, we got Pluto, and we got Mickey. So, and they have a little base stem that can go ahead and stand up and sit on a shelf. And I got some Easter eggs. So thanks, Jeremy, for designing that one.
You're welcome.
Printed those up the other day. So I know the cost of eggs is going up, but I mean, hey, you can 3D print them. So what does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So just print yourself some Easter eggs. If you have some different filament, you don't have to worry about really coloring them. Just go ahead and make them, whatever color you really want. So
that's true.
very pleased with that. It's going to go above my door, I think, with some of the other ones that you've made here. So that was again another fun one to make. So again, with this, layer stacking again. You guys can probably see right here. We got all different colors going. Started out as black, then we went to what is that, red, then we went to white, yellow, green, and then back to black. So
He made you do a lot there, huh?
you did. I will be the first to say, Jeremy doesn't make me do anything easy when it comes to something he designs.
No.
So like with him, it's all sunshine and rainbows. He just his printer just pauses. He's like, oh, let me just undo my filament real quick and do it. So with Bamboo, as much as I love my printer, when I go to do one that involves doing a filament swap like that, I have to send the command. Now, once I have to go through and do all my layer slicing and all that in Bamboo Studio. And then I go into the settings in Bamboo Studio. Then I have to initiate it to go ahead and unload the filament. So it has to go through that whole process. He has to heat up, cut it, bring it back out. Then I got to go swap it and send another command for that one. And that's provided I sliced it right, because this took me 3 tries to get this right.
But look how good they look.
It looks great. Yes, you did a great job. But this one, it did take me 3 tries to get it right. The first try I did it, I left the one layer down for red, and the next thing you know, the whole top was red for one layer before it moved down to the rest. And I'm just like, oh, I don't have another, I just have plenty of time. I'll just restart again and go back to black. So it took a while. If I would have had another AMS or spools that would have fit that one, I was trying to go through some spools that I just had left over that don't quite fit that. I think they're 1.5 kilogram spools. The AMS usually takes 1 kilogram. So if I would have had another AMS and spools that fit, I could have just done it automatically. And that's where I get you beat, Jared, because I can go ahead and just press print and walk away. It'll just print it all for me. Whereas you got to go do those filament swaps that are just so god awful to me. You got to go do that on a daily basis. So I give you a lot of props for doing that. And again, can't thank you enough for designing all these. They look great. They are awesome. A great little thing to go ahead and keep on the table for Easter and all that good stuff. So again, we will make sure we link the file down in the description below. We hope you guys are enjoying this. If you're able to go ahead and download them, feel free, print them out. People put them up on Maker's World, so you can feel free to go ahead and post some pictures when they're all done. Feel free. And again, while we're kind of on the topic of this too, if you guys have gotten this far already, if you wouldn't mind just liking and subscribing, again, we appreciate it. We've already gotten up almost 100 views on our last podcast, so really excited about that. But anyways, let's jump back into Easter. We have eggs. So what else do we have going on at Disney for Easter? It's quite a holiday there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean Disney does quite a bit for Easter. Not as much as they do for Halloween and Christmas, but they do a decent amount. So what you'll find at Disney, I'll say one thing that everyone's going crazy over is the Thumper popcorn bucket. That thing is flying.
Popcorn buckets are.
Yeah, they're collectible to begin with. This one really cute. It's Thumper. He's holding a little egg, and everyone wants one. So I don't blame him. If I had access to one, I'd probably get one too. Because some of them are really nice enough to you could just take the handles off it. It doesn't even look like a popcorn bucket, and now it's a decoration in your house. That's what I did. That's how I justified buying a gingerbread house one on my past trip. I said, no, look, you take the handles off. That's a decoration for the house, and you could hide treats in it. And my wife, I was kind of bothering her all night about it, and I was like, oh, popcorn bucket, I could really use that. And she was like, Jeremy, and then 11, midnight hit, and they were about to close up. I'm like, I'm doing it. She's like, go get it, Jeremy. So
I think my favorite had to be when they came out with one a while back of the Prince Charming carousel.
Oh yeah, that one looks good.
I kid you not, I went to EPCOT that night. I think it was the same day it got released, and there was this group of ladies. They must have had 6 of them attached to this cart, just rolling around with just the carousel popcorn buckets all wrapped around this wagon. I'm like, what is happening right now? So it is a whole thing with these popcorn buckets. I mean, there's going to be lines. It usually is. Sometimes they sell out. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens with this one. Again, just because it's mainly for the holidays, so I don't really know how long they're going to have it for.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be just for one day. Do you have any clarity on that, Jer?
How long? Oh, they've had them for quite a while now. I know they're gonna at least offer them through Easter, but I don't know how much longer they're gonna be sticking around after that because we're
Gotcha.
gonna be entering May the 4th time frame, so they might be switching
Yes.
over quickly.
Because nothing says popcorn like a gigantic Millennium Falcon popcorn backpack that you have to carry around all day at the parks. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I love seeing that. You know, you go to go on rides and everyone's trying to figure out creative ways to hold on to all this and tuck it in their, in the seat in front of them. And I'm just like,
It's true.
okay, I would have probably taken a trip out to the car real quick, but hey, you do you. So,
Yeah.
but anyways,
Anyway.
well, enough about the popcorn buckets. What else do we have going on?
Yeah, at the resorts you can find tons of Easter egg displays. They're really cute. They're really cool. They're made by the bakers at each of the resorts. I would say you'll probably find the most amount of them at the Grand Floridian, but you can also find them at Yacht and Beach Club and the Contemporary Resort, right in the main lobby. So, kind of like a cool experience. They're usually themed around movies or even different attractions. I've seen one for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I've seen them like Moana ones. I've seen so many different cool ones. They do a really nice job. But I know at these resorts, you can go look at your eggs, but you can also go buy some treats. Nick, what kind of treats are they selling?
Yes. So, as far as treats go, Disney does treats right. They don't mess around when it comes to this. So, we have things going on at the Yacht and Beach Club, Boardwalk, the Contemporary, the Grand Flow, Riviera. They all have different specialty things just for Easter. And the rest of the resorts just get a very classic thumper carrot cake. So nothing to still sneeze at, but that's just they get the rest. So I think the biggest one of note, without going into this whole list because there is a whole bunch here, would be at the Riviera. They have Easter egg macaroons. They have strawberry honey, blueberry coriander, and orange milk chocolate. So those are some awesome ones. Usually the macaroons are usually gluten free too. So my daughter would be all about that.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They do a great job with that, and I usually get them when I'm down there. So then we also have the lemon ricotta cheesecake with vanilla bean panna cotta and a lemon biscotti cookie with a milk chocolate stamp. And usually with anything like that, you're going to be getting. I mean, it's going to be show. So you're going to get something that says milk chocolate stamp. I mean, we're probably talking something decorative that's been hand drawn or whatever else on there. This is not your average desserts that you would get going to the grocery store. These are higher end treats that you will find only at the resorts and at Disney. Because again, it's what Disney does. They do everything a step above everyone else.
Yeah. And additionally, with the resorts, we also get some really great treats at Disney Springs. Amorettes, they got a Easter egg petite cake. I feel like they got a different petite cake for everything. Like there's different
Every time of day.
Yeah.
Every time of day, it's like, oh, you're feeling sad today? Well, we have a petite cake for that. Do you got a promotion? Sure, we got one for that too. It's just everything under the sun. I'm convinced of that at this point.
I also got some other desserts there and a carrot cake bar, so they got some good stuff. Everglazed, I know you like your Everglazed. They got a
Yes, I do.
specialty Easter donut there for you.
Okay.
And then at the Ganachery, they got a selection of chocolate milk bites and peanut butter and marshmallow pops and milk chocolate bunny pinatas. So that's also a pinata sounds exciting.
Pinatas. Interesting. Am I just going to go by the front of it? People just going to be hitting it with a baseball bat, just trying to go ahead and break it.
If I remember what they've done before, is this basically think your Lindor rabbit egg, and you know how it's hollow? They just put jelly beans and marshmallow treats inside it, so you crack it open, and then you got all your treats in it. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
I really hope there's a plastic bag or something included with that. That sounds very messy.
Oh, it definitely is messy, but that's what most things you get at Disney, I feel like.
Well, that's true. That's they go above and beyond for all that. They make it bigger and bolder than any other company would or dare to. So yeah, you're 100% right. And and again, just to note with this too, we've talked about this before. Don't ever feel that you cannot go to any of these resorts. Obviously, Disney Springs is always free to go to, but you can always definitely go to the resorts as well, even if you're not staying there. let them know what you're trying to go do. Hey, I'm trying to just go pick this up. Or worst case, hey, I'm going to go ahead and, take Disney transportation from Springs or wherever else. You can always do that too. And you can always take a visit over there, grab it. You don't have to be a resort guest, and you can feel free to be on your way. So they want you to check out the resorts. They want you to see what it's like, and they want to showcase it all. So it's definitely something to go ahead and check out.
Yeah, that's a good point. The safest way to do it is definitely if you have a reservation, you can easily get in and park. But if you don't have a reservation, I would most likely hit Springs and then jump on a resort bus there, because that's the best way to do it.
It all depends too on the resort and what it is. Places like the Riviera, it gets a little tough. They're on the Skyliner loop, so a lot of people try to go there and just hop on the Skyliner when they really don't want you doing that. They don't really have the parking space for it is the biggest thing. So that's where they start to crack down. But places like, Port Orleans, like we talked about last week, they're expecting big crowds. They have a huge parking lot there.
Yeah,
they even have an overflow lot. So they're designed for more of a situation like that. And again, you can go take transportation from any of them. You can hop on a bus right out in front of there and just take on off. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. But all resorts usually have free parking if you're going to be going ahead and doing something like that. And obviously Springs does as well. They'll just, at that point, obviously you'll take a bus and you'll venture off to wherever you're going to go from there.
Yep. All right, Nick, why don't you tell us who can we meet for Easter? Who can we get a good picture with?
Yes. Well, it wouldn't be Easter without the Easter Bunny. So you get to meet Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny in the Magic Kingdom. You're going to be going right behind the Christmas shop, where it is always Christmas, and they always have a countdown for Christmas, and there always smells like Christmas trees. I can't imagine why, but it'll be right behind there. So there's a little hidden courtyard back there if anyone doesn't really know about it. It's kind of off the beaten path. If you're going towards Adventureland, right where you get to the spring roll cart, pop it right over there and head down that ramp, and next thing you know, you'll be in that courtyard. It's a nice little hidden spot, especially if you're trying to go ahead and enjoy your cheeseburger, spring rolls, or something of that nature down there, because it's kind of in the shade, it's away from everything. There's usually some seating over there, but there'll be a little area for Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny to go ahead and take photos. I'm sure there'll be photo pass there. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's going to be a wonderful time, and again, just adding to the whole Easter Disney ambiance. Well, so speaking of all that, Jarrett, we usually have, I say usually, it wouldn't be an Easter without any kind of Easter egg hunt.
That's true, and we get that over at EPCOT in the EPCOT East Extravaganza is what they call it.
Very nice.
It's an Easter egg hunt that takes place around World Showcase. Now, let's be clear, Disney's not putting out a bunch of eggs filled with candy that you're running to go pick up. It's essentially what you do is it does come at a price. It is $9.99. Now, you don't have to pay the $9.99 if you just want to find the eggs, but if you want to get your completer prize and get the full experience with the map and the stickers, you pay $9.99, and then you explore World Showcase and find all the egg locations that are on your map. And then you can turn in your map and receive a completer prize, which is a paint your own character. They have 6 different characters to choose from: Mickey, Minnie, Chip and Dale, White Rabbit, and Thumper. So it's basically it's almost like the same size as our printed eggs, but they're made of wood and they're not colored, and they provide you with paint and a brush. A different color paint and a brush, so you can paint it as much as however you'd like, and it comes at a cost of $9.99. And if you are concerned that you may not finish the hunt and you did pay that $9.99, which means you get your prize, you can collect it before you start your hunt. But I would say the hunt's part of the fun, and it takes place around World Showcase. So just do it as you're going through all the countries and look out for those eggs.
Jeez, man, you're thinking I'd have to go walk around, World Showcase. So, I'd be so upset. So upset. I mean, I bet we'll do this eventually. We'll show everything we have in here, guys. But I have the entire EPCOT poster collection that is on Disney store. But yeah, no, I can say from experience with my little one, she absolutely goes nuts for this. There's times a year too where I think actually at the same time there's one for Festival of Flower and Garden Festival. There's another one going on as well at the same time. And we'll talk more about that as I get ready for my next trip coming up here. But with that one, again, it's the same idea. You go around World Showcase, you get to go ahead and find these things. It gets you moving. It gets you going to check stuff out. It gets you exploring because they're not always hidden right in plain sight. Sometimes you have to really go in the pavilion, some of the more inner workings to go ahead and find this stuff, which just, again, brings you back to those pavilions that you might not always want to go check, at face value. I can tell you that so a lot of my first trips to EPCOT, I was never big into really checking out the pavilions. I was never huge into, exploring what they had behind them. Coming to find out, I missed a whole other world behind everything because places like China and Japan having the different stores there, I mean, they go so much further back than I realized. And not to mention there's other restaurants there, sometimes even some quick service stuff. Again, they're all over the place, but for little ones, it's just great. It gives you an opportunity to really go ahead and explore with them, gives them something to go do. Whereas Epcot may not always seem like a 100% kid friendly park when it comes to rides. There's obviously not as many rides per se as you would have in the other parks. You get more of an experience there, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoy Epcot so much, because you really get into that cultural diversity that no other park on the planet does. It gives you that opportunity to go ahead and explore all the different countries and see people from that country, talk to them, ask them what it's like, and it makes it just that much more interesting and fun. So, again, just an awesome thing.
And I will note, it's as you said, it's a great opportunity to really explore World Showcase, and it's cool. All the eggs are also themed to different characters, so they'll be fun to find, and I think the kids will really like it. I will remind everyone that these offerings, to our knowledge, go at least through Easter. I would expect a lot of these to probably drop off very quickly after Easter Sunday. So if you're going next week, just like if you're trying to do something Easter themed, like on that, try to get it done early in your trip.
Yeah, I mean, you might have a day or two after, but I really can't see them doing much more aside from that as far as time frame goes. They're usually pretty quick to go ahead and sweep this up and move on to the next thing because Disney's ever changing, and we have all these fun events and stuff like that they have planning for the future.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Well, I think that just about does it, guys. So again, if you've been here this far and you've seen all this, we greatly appreciate that. Again, we're almost up to 100 views on the last podcast. We're both very thankful for that. We appreciate you guys coming here. We appreciate you guys watching and taking your time out of your days to go do this. Again, if you could, please like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to go do a new podcast every week. We get some more fun stuff coming up in the future here.
Yeah, we do.
A new Facebook page. Jeremy's working hard on that one. Yeah. So we're moving on with that one. So we'll be posting that up here as soon as the podcast goes live here. Anyways, and well, with that being said, we are the Men of Main Street. If you didn't like this, we're the Vienna Boy Choir. So if you understand that, have fun with that.
Great reference.
Exactly. So anyways, that being said, we are the Men of Main Street. I'm Nick.
I'm Jeremy. Just one quick thing. Happy Easter. And
yes, happy
Easter.
I'm
going to tease it next week. May the 4th be with you special. So just get ready for it.
We might have some things to point out here. Just
Oh,
just give
nice.
Just give you that little clip. We're not going to go ahead and show it too much more yet.
Not too much of that. But a little sneak peek of next week. A little
sneak peek of next week. So we'll see what we have to come.
It's my version of Christmas, so I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys all again, and we will see you all in the future. Take care.